Hello and welcome to Thursdays with Annette. Today it's all about pudding. I love a good pudding and I've reinvented a classic favourite. And what are we making? Well, it's out of book 7 and it's this amazing dish here. It's orange hazelnut bread pudding. Oh my gosh, if you've not tried it, it's next level. So the traditional one is in book 2 and that's bread and butter pudding, which is just the typical normal version, which is a bit fabulous. But I went, you know what? I love it so much, can we reinvent it? And so today I'm going to show you how to do it. So I've preheated my oven to 180 degrees fan forced, and this is enough for 8 serves. And so, and I'll talk about how you make, with this type of pudding, you need to have a wet bath. So let me tell you about that later. But if you want to win book 7, find out at the end how you can. Also, I put the winners in a post on this page on Thursday morning, just to let you know who won from the week before. So let's look at the ingredients. Now, I find I have mostly all of this here at home, you know, most of the time, except the milk, because I don't use skim milk in this. I want it to be a bit richer. It's a custard. All right, so we've got 5 eggs in total, but we're only going to use 2 whole, and then we use 3 egg whites. And this is how I've made it much lower in fats, 4.2 grams of fat a serve, instead of it being very high in fat, which often people would put all whole eggs in, whole milk or even cream, and then a lot of butter as well, whereas I've changed it around. Let me show you. So there's the eggs. We want 3 tablespoons of white sugar, a teaspoon of vanilla essence. We've got 2 3/4 cups of trim milk. Now, if you're wondering in your state what is trim milk, because in Queensland it's called trim milk, you could also use the Zimmel Light, which is also more tolerable for some people who have dairy problems. So Zimmel Light is equal to trim. Now, you're also going to do some orange rind, 2 tablespoons of that. I've got some sultanas, I'm putting them in, that's 2 tablespoons. Or is it 2? No, 3 tablespoons, sorry. I've also got Nutella, I know. Who doesn't love a feed of Nutella? And it is fabulous, and that's where you're getting that hazelnut flavour. It just works so well with the orange. And I'm going to use 2 tablespoons. 2 slices of 9-gram bread on the top. Get ready for fabulous. That's what it's about here today. And remember, oven 180 degrees fan forced. All right, so now I think that I want to read the dietitian tip. She says a traditional bread pudding is high in saturated fat and sugar and has a high GI. And it has made a healthy alternative that contains quality nut and egg protein. Yes, you're welcome. Okay, so what we do first, I think I might grate the orange rind first. So let's move my beating bowl over. Bring out my new board. If you've been watching the show, you'll see I've now got this beautiful lemon chopping board, which is much smaller than the watermelon one. And I think it's good to have a bit of both. So let's grate the rind. This is the hardest part of this recipe, is getting the rind. Oh gosh, this is not a great lemon orange. Let's try this one. That's better. I think they have such a waxy coating on them these days, and we want 2 tablespoons. Now it says finely grated, but I find it takes forever to do it with a fine grater. So what I do is I grate it with the normal grater and then I chop it. So we want 2 tablespoons. And I think the orange flavour really comes out with this, just the rind. You don't need any of the liquid. It might curdle the custard, I think, if you put orange juice in it. All right. So when you're buying it, try not to get one that feels really smooth, because that's what I'm saying. They're very waxy if you're looking for the orange. Let's have a look. A little bit more. Oh my gosh, this is such a great recipe. I mean, I've got to tell you a little secret. Guess what is Bill's favourite dessert? Well, it's bread and butter pudding. And he has found out that he's not great with milk. So I've actually made it for him, and I've made this one for him as well because he loves it just as much as the traditional one. I've made it with almond milk. So if you're saying, well, that's dairy, I can't have it, then replace it with the almond milk. It's fantastic. Do you reckon that's 2 tablespoons? Let's have a look. It'll be close. Oh, maybe not. Okay, there's one. All right, let's just go with the other one now. I'm glad I got 2 oranges, hey Bill, because I thought, oh, I wonder if you get 2 tablespoons of rind. Who knew you needed 2 oranges? And they're not small oranges either. Let's a look. Oh, I'm going to get muscles from this today. And of course you get the chance to win a cookbook at the end, which is a bit fabulous, and I sign it for you as well, so it's even a bit more fabulous. All right, I think we are good. All right. Okay, so there we go. That's 2 tablespoons. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to move this over into my soapy sink, and what I'll do is I'm going to just chop it up. So we don't need the oranges, but that's all right, we'll eat them, no problem at all. And I want you just to go over it. That's it. So that it's nice and fine. There we go. Orange rind done and dusted. All right, now we can get into this. So let's do the 3 egg. I always do the egg whites first in case the yolk drops in accidentally, then I'm okay, and then I do them last, the full egg. All right, we want, look, see, look, it can be crazy what happens with these egg whites. You can actually buy egg white in a carton. If you, oh, there's a bit of shell in there, get out of there. If you wanted to, and you know, I know we've used them when we're doing a lot of baking, and if you are doing something like that, just allow 36 grams per egg white if you're ever using the carton egg, if you don't like throwing out the yolk. And I mean, because I haven't used 3 egg yolks, I've saved 18 grams of fat, and you know, it tastes perfect. It's absolutely perfect the way it is. All right, now we're going to put in the 2 whole eggs. Here we go. I got a double yolker the other day. I was a bit excited. Don't see them much anymore, do you? All right. So we're going to beat that up. It's a very easy dessert, and I think in winter, you know, you like a bit of pudding. Well, I certainly do. Actually, I like it all year round, to be honest, because it's great served warm or cold. All right. Just combine them well, and let's put in the sugar. 3 tablespoons of white sugar. It's such an easy dessert, but what I love about it is it's so easy to eat. Let's put in a teaspoon of vanilla. There we go. Vanilla essence, extract. I think it's an Aussie thing to say essence. Then we're going to put in the rind. There we go. Done. Thank you, my lovely lemon chopping board. And now in goes the milk. So I'm going to just... All right. Not very hard, is it? And it's so yum. It's not an expensive dessert either. All right, so now oh, look at the rind on that. Let's get rid of it. There we go. Make sure you just shake off the rind so you don't want to lose any of it. Just going to put that in the soaky sim. And now what I'm going to do is pour it into, I have got like a small lasagna dish. So in it goes. Well, look at all the bits of orange in there. It's fabulous. Let's get the scraper. We want all of that in there. Bubbles included. I wonder if you've ever made a bread and butter pudding, because it is actually quite old-fashioned. So if you haven't, you're really in for a fabulous experience. So now what we do is we sprinkle the sultanas. Just spread it around and they'll plump up and be beautiful. And it also helps with the moisture because I haven't put a lot of sugar in it because of the sultanas help, and so does the Nutella. All right, so I've got 2 slices of 9-grain bread. I want a tablespoon of Nutella to go on each piece. So let's get a tablespoon out. Smell that Nutella. I might flatten it out. So there's 1 and 1 more. There we go. All right, so now all we have to do is just spread this over the bread. Remember, the oven's preheated to 180. I want the crust left on. Don't take the crust off because I think it's nice in the mix. And just to spread it around so it's equal. Actually, I need my chopping board. I'll have to get it again. All right, so that's not hard, is it? All right, I'm going to turn it over because it's double-sided. And what you're going to do now is you're going to cut it into triangles. So 1. So that way you land up with 8 triangles in total. That's it. Now, if you really don't like Nutella or you're allergic to nuts, you could just do jam, which is the traditional one for a bread and butter pudding. Okay, so now what we do is we're going to, I think I'll try and be pretty with it, and I'll go like this. Just overlap them slightly. And this one. Oh my gosh. Yum! And then what you do is you dunk it in. So get in and push it down. That's it. Because the bread then is soaking up all that milk liquid. There we go. Yes. Now all you have to do now is put it in a wet bath. Now what a wet bath is a baking tray that has water in it. Of course it tells you how to do this in the recipe, okay? But what I'm going to do is I'll quarter fill the thing, and then I'm going to put in. So you want it to go up about halfway. So I'm just going to put a little bit more in this. That's it. Now carefully take it over. I'm going to open the door and carefully carry it over into the oven. Oh my gosh, I can smell the orange. It's so beautiful. Now this is a custard, so it takes a while. So you're going to do it for an hour. Okay? So we're going to leave that in there at 180 degrees for 1 hour. If you've got a really hot oven, maybe check it at 55 just to make sure, or until it's set, it feels firm. And then what you do is rest it for 5 minutes. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up my mucky mess, and I'm going to come back with the best pudding ever. I'll show you soon. See you soon. Well, the oven's telling me it's 55 minutes, and I just checked it before we came back on, and it's cooked. So I didn't have to do it for the full hour. So let's get it out. Now this is where you've got to be careful because that water will be very hot. Here we go. Oh, look at that. And it does look a bit puffy right now. And what will happen is as it cools, it will settle down. So let's bring it out of the water bath. Oh, look at that. I love that I've got a granite top so I can put hot things on it without having to worry. Let me just move this out of the way. So there we have the, oh my gosh, look at it. I know, it's fabulous. It smells incredible. I mean, guilt-free. I mean, who knew weight loss could be so deliciously healthy with this pudding? Now, if you want to win the recipe book for this, it's out of book 7. You've just got to like, share, and then in the comments you have to write down #Simply Too Good with the Y and the 2. Write that in and I'm going to pick 3 winners and then I'll personally sign book 7 for you. But while I was on the break waiting for the hour to cook, or 55 minutes in my oven, I remembered that actually in this book, Cooking for One or Two, I've done the bread and butter pudding, which is in book 2, as 2 serves. Look at that in the little individual ramekins. Look at that. So that's the traditional bread and butter pudding, but I just thought I'd mention that to you as well. But it's all about book 7 today. This is the orange hazelnut bread pudding. Now you cut it down the middle and there, and then quarter it, and there's your 8 serves. So at 4.2 grams of fat, this is living, that's for sure. Now on next week's show, it's soup time, people. We're winter. I need something warm and cozy for me right now. I know I'm in the Sunshine Coast, I'm very spoiled, but all you people down south, you need soup to keep you warm, and I'm making one of the most fantastic recipes I've never done on the show before. It's the healthy veggie soup out of book 6. It's also been adapted in more Cooking for One or Two, so it's great because you're getting chances to win either book 6 or the More Cooking, which is the latest book, on next week's show. So just remember to check out the website, simplytoogood.com.au. You can find recipes there, tips, and also the new products that are around, which are very exciting on the website. Alrighty, well, look, you can see it starting to slowly drop down a little bit. It's good to let it sit for at least 5 minutes before you serve it. And I like it a bit cool, so not real hot. Up to you though anyway. Well, thank you for spending some time with me today on this beautiful Thursday, and I'll see you next Thursday for the soup recipe. Bye now.